This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
Love is love.
There's only 3 flags that should be flown: the U.S. flag, state flag, and our town flag.
It's a felony crime to mail abortion materials.
The Trump economy is creating an economic golden age.
This is an insult to mothers and fathers and parents.
I've never went to the World Cup, and I've watched it every year since I was 2.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. What a morning in Webster, New York. A showdown over Pride Month and the gay pride flag flying for the first time over the city. That flag was taken down by town officials today, but not before one woman blocked the flagpole with her own flag as protesters marched nearby.
We see, we hear, we will not live in fear. We see, we hear, we will not live in fear.
The board voted 3-2 last night for the removal of the flag after a packed meeting and emotional testimony from people in the town. These residents spoke with WHEC TV.
It's 2026. Why are we still fighting about this? Love is love.
I am not for it. It has nothing to do with sexuality. It has to do with showing favoritism. There's only 3 flags that should be flown: the U.S. flag, state flag, and our town flag.
In the end, the board agreed and the flag came down. A new Gallup poll shows 67% of Americans, especially Republicans, are stepping back from supporting Pride Month. Just 38% of Americans believe changing gender is morally acceptable. Under the microscope, the FDA has just announced it will move forward with a safety review of the mail-order abortion drug mifepristone, while a case against it works its way through the U.S. Supreme Court.
This is a criminal operation. Federal law currently makes it a felony. It's a felony crime to mail abortion materials.
Despite federal law, states like New York still use telehealth visits to mail it to states where it's banned, like Louisiana, which ADF represents. Alliance Defending Freedom's Chelsea Yeoman.
What we have is abortion industry actors acting as a cartel, committing felonies to mail these drugs right now, and it's absurd that it's allowed. I would hope the FDA would say anyone that's approved to distribute drugs has to comply with federal criminal law.
ADF says serious dangers can occur, most notably severe hemorrhage, infection, sepsis, and the failure to diagnose life-threatening ectopic pregnancies. The FDA says it'll take 6 months to complete a review on whether or not the drug is truly safe and can be mailed without a patient getting a visit in a doctor's office to review their health history. That drug allows a chemical abortion to take place at home, and it's effective 99% of the time. The jobs report for the month of May is out, and hiring not only blew past expectations, it more than doubled them. 172,000 jobs added. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett.
It's absolutely a blowout number. The Trump economy is really creating an economic golden age.
Unemployment was just 4.3% for the month of May. University of Michigan economics professor Justin Wolfer says the numbers are easing fears of a possible recession.
We had a pretty miserable 2025, but it looks like the middle or the early and middle parts of 2026 really suggest the labour market's moving along. And I think the thing this will really do is it's time to stop talking about the word recession. Recessions don't happen when the labour market's motoring along like this.
It is the third month in a row that job growth has exceeded predictions. After a marathon 18 hours of debate, the U.S. Senate has passed a $70 billion immigration enforcement bill. Senator Lindsey Graham.
It's fund the Border Patrol and ICE through the entire Trump term. America will be safer.
The new bill includes $38 billion for ICE, $22 billion for Border Patrol, and $5 billion for the Department of Homeland Security. President Trump is in western Wisconsin this afternoon for a roundtable event. The White House says the president will be highlighting initiatives to help Wisconsin farmers in Chippewa Falls. Trump previously announced a $12 billion economic relief package for American families affected by trade disruptions caused by tariffs. Russia's space agency is delaying repairs to fix cracks and leaks on the International Space Station. A NASA spokeswoman says the structural repair efforts are being paused so engineers can gather more measurements. Cracks have been a growing concern inside the Russia-made module since it was launched into space back in 2000. And it's 85 degrees. Today, warmer weather brings out the mosquitoes, and experts have some tips on how to control these blood-sucking insects. Dr. Christopher Pizzoli is a bug expert at the Cleveland Clinic.
Mosquitoes need standing water, still water to reproduce. So minimizing near where you live or where you're going, trying to minimize any standing water.
Dr. Pizzoli says insect repellent with DEET and eucalyptus oil helps keep the bugs at bay. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, 150 people rescued from a tunnel on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Human trafficking accelerated by AI in PA, and the bill that replaces mother with gestating parent in New York. We've got those stories after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. The work week has been a beauty weather-wise. The weekend, not so much. A cold front is due to bring a few scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, with drier weather returning on Sunday. In the meantime, a beautiful evening is ahead, warm and fair, the clouds increasing, and overnight, a thunder shower could visit parts of western New York and northwest Pennsylvania, low temps in the 60s. For tomorrow, it's a humid day, variably cloudy skies, a few scattered showers. We'll have to watch for a thundery downpour, especially during the afternoon hours. High temperatures, mostly in the 80s. On Sunday, lowering humidity, clouds break for some sun, so could still be a shower. High temperatures Sunday, mid-70s to the middle 80s.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. It was a crazy operation last night as you slept in the Keystone State. Dozens of people were evacuated from a tunnel on the Pennsylvania Turnpike last night. The Turnpike shut down a stretch of the roadway in both directions at 9 p.m. because of a vehicle fire inside the Allegheny Tunnel. WTAE TV in Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania State Police say that 150 people were transported to a PennDOT maintenance shed and were not able to return to their cars until after 3 a.m. Officials say the driver of the car involved in this fire had a medical emergency and was taken by medical helicopter to a nearby hospital. We're told the medical emergency was not, however, related to the car fire.
The road was closed between exit 161 and 65 in Stony Creek Township. It's since fully reopened. No one was hurt. A town hall meeting on human trafficking in the age of AI happened last night in Sayre, Pennsylvania. Wyoming County DA Joseph Peters tells WENY.
It's an uncomfortable issue, but like any other crime, if we pretend it's not there or we don't want to talk about it, then it's just going to overcome us.
Last year, police in Pennsylvania investigated 400 crimes related to human trafficking. The Pennsylvania House has unanimously passed a bill that would improve transparency on the inner workings of utilities in the Keystone State. House Bill 306 would authorize the PA Public Utility Commission to share records containing confidential security information with federal agencies over safety issues like the Palmer Chocolate Factory explosion. And say goodbye to mom and dad. A bill pushed by New York Democrats would replace mother with gestating parent in New York law. Fox News political analyst Tommy Lahren.
Not only is this a waste of time and of resources, not only is this an insult to mothers and fathers and parents, not only is it preventing people from moving to these blue woke states, but it's actually pushing people out the door into the red states.
GOP gubernatorial candidate Bruce Blakeman calls the gender-neutral legislation a declaration of war on New York families. The bill is now heading to Governor Kathy Hochul's desk for final approval, but she claims she isn't familiar with the proposal. Next at 5, we check in with the Capital Connection crew. Michael Gear with PA Family, Jason McGuire with New York Families, and our own Bob Price. We begin with a rally to support pregnancy care centers in the Keystone State. Let's listen in.
Michael, your group hosted a rally this week, I think back on Monday, talking about the important role that pregnancy care centers play in the community. I was struck by the millions of dollars in services provided, whether it's ultrasounds or prenatal care, but such a critical component to maternity maternal health, these PRCs, pregnancy resource centers. If you would explain a little bit more about why it matters so much that we support our pregnancy care centers.
I'm glad to take that opportunity. We were very glad to partner with the Pennsylvania Pregnancy Wellness Collaborative, which is a group of pregnancy resource centers all across the state, in hosting this event at the Capitol as we seek to serve the pregnancy resource centers that are on the front lines in the fight for the sanctity of life. These centers, Bob, provide the kind of guidance and resources that pregnant women need both during the pregnancy and after they give birth, many providing sonograms and medical guidance for a safe pregnancy, counseling and resources to meet the real physical and emotional needs during this time, and most importantly, a pathway to hope and a future for the baby both inside the womb and after birth and to its mother, which is the opposite of the death-dealing organizations like Planned Parenthood offer under the fake guise of helping women.
Yeah, I think there's something like 87 pregnancy care centers across the Commonwealth, so if there's one where you live, please support that vital effort on the front lines of maternal health care. And then, Jason, could not believe, maybe it's not shocking anymore because of how prevalent AI is in our lives, but nearly 20% of young adults admit that they use AI chatbots for mental health advice. What sort of red flags does that raise, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, one of the problems with the chat bots or the AI-enabled devices is they tend to take on the personality of the user. So if there is a user who is already suffering from suicidal tendencies or depression, the chatbot will eventually then feed back some of that in kind of a loop back to the user. So there's a concern there. There have been a number of cases where I've seen some dangerous things that have come as a result of that. In the legislature this week, the Assembly was passing a bill that would ban chatbot-enabled toys until we can figure out exactly how to handle these and move forward. So we wouldn't be handing these furry animals into kids' hands that will then just loop them into some negative thought patterns and could negatively impact them.
Yeah, and that leads us to the final issue, Michael. You're hosting a webinar this month, severely needed webinar, on digital discernment and how to raise children in the age of AI. What do you hope people will come away with by attending this webinar later this month?
Well, we're really excited to be hosting this webinar on the evening of June 16th. We're hosting our friends from the organization Protect Young Eyes, and that organization's title gives an indication of what we're aiming for with this webinar, which is that parents and teens and children will gain the skills to navigate the treacherous waters of the online world, whether it's pornography and violence online, the lure of internet gambling and sports betting, or the rapidly expanding world of AI chatbots like you and Jason just talked about, and the access to harmful materials delivered into our homes via smartphones, tablets, and computers. So we have lots of folks that have already signed up for the webinar at pafamily.org/protectyoungeyes, and that, to me, shows there's a very strong appetite for help in this area, and we're hoping to provide it.
That's the Capital Connection crew, Michael Gear with PA Family and Jason McGuire with New York Families. You can hear this entire interview online anytime at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
An inheritance is about more than money. Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." That can include financial resources, but Scripture points to something deeper, a legacy of wisdom, faith, and faithful stewardship. Money passed down without character can quickly disappear. But when we pass down values like generosity, contentment, and trust in God, we give something that can last for generations. That kind of inheritance doesn't begin in a will. It begins in the way we live each day. It grows through the example we set, the conversations we have, and the priorities we model at home. So yes, prepare financially, but also invest spiritually. Manage your finances wisely with the easy-to-use FaithFi app. Download FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store, or learn more at faithfi.com.
Next at 5, the World Cup kicks off in a little over a week, and one elementary school soccer team from Queens was given a once-in-a-lifetime surprise.
Because of a very special mommy, every single one of you is going to a World Cup game!
It happened after one of the players' moms nominated the team for StubHub's Access New York program, which gives free live event tickets to kids. 90% of the children at the school are in economic hardship. Laura Kavarius is PS 171Q's principal.
They should have these experiences that others have. Why can't they have these experiences?
The kids' excitement was captured by NBC.
I've never went to the World Cup, and I've watched it every year since I was 2.
They'll be going to the game on June 22nd at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. This year, 171Q's soccer team from Queens will be watching in person. And that's the world that we live in for Friday, the 5th of June. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.